Ever wonder why some scenes in film and TV sound so real? Well, here's the thing. On set, the only thing that's actually recorded is the dialogue. Everything else, like the footsteps, the backgrounds, the sound effects, the music, that's all added in post. And one of the biggest tools that we use to make it all feel real is Reverb. In this video, I'm going to show you how I use Reverb to instantly add depth and realism to my mixes. So the next time you're working on your short film or commercial or game audio, these simple reverb settings are gonna take your sound to the next level. So let's dive right in. Hey friends, my name is Joel D. Catalan. I am a Emmy-nominated sound re-recording mixer and industry coach, and we're gonna dive into reverbs. These are two of my go-to reverbs. I'm gonna jump right into this, but I got my template here, very pared down just for the sake of this particular video. But I'm gonna show you how I use two reverbs for, over 90% of the content that I mix, film and TV. These two things are just wonderful settings. Now, reverbs help us create that space, right? And like I talked about in the beginning of the video, everything is added after the fact. And so in order for us to create these scenes that sound real, nothing sounds worse than a dry track. Now, there are going to be some tracks that you don't have to put, much of anything on. But in the instance that you want to match the scene and the environment, that's when reverb's going to come and play. So let's just take a quick look here. I have a couple different things I want to show you, but it's fairly simple as far as our reverbs go. So I have a couple effects tracks here. Actually, let's just go like this. There we go. And in this particular setup here, you'll see I have a couple four mono effects tracks, four stereo effects tracks. I have a VCA to control these tracks and some production effects tracks with their VCA. But over here, this is where I want you to focus on. These are my two reverb returns. And these auxes here have been set up with two different reverbs, okay? I have Revibe 2 in one of the auxes, and then I have Reverb 1 in the other. And what these are acting as, these particular reverbs, one is acting as an interior reverb and the other is acting as an exterior reverb, okay? Now, when we're mixing for film and TV, the reverbs that we add are going to try to match the scene that we see. So if you're in a cave setting, you got drips, you're going to want to have a big kind of, a cave sound, right? And so you're not going to put the reverb of like a small little apartment room. You're going to have it big, right? And so the same applies when you're outside. When you're outside, and I want you to think about it, when you're outside and you're walking the streets of New York City or whatever city you're in, when you hear the sirens and you hear the dogs barking and you hear the traffic bouncing off the walls, it sounds different, right? It's going to sound different. And so part of our job as post-production sound professionals is to create that realism, and this is the glue that sticks everything together. So let's take a look here with this particular reverb, okay? My interior reverb, and I only have two. Well, actually, correction, I lied. I actually have a 5.0 reverb, sort of like a big Dreamy reverb. I have my exterior and my interior, and that's pretty much it. It's what's gotten me through shows like the Orville, Cosmos, A Spacetime Odyssey, Black Lightning, DC's Legends of Tomorrow. I'm literally using these reverbs and these settings. So I'm showing you this. So you can use this, and I'm telling you, it'll sound great, okay? Now, of course, you can always go bigger and you can always try different things, right? Feel free to use whatever reverb you want, but this is what's worked for me, and it's super simple. And if you have Pro Tools, right? These are like Avid inclusions. These come with Pro Tools, right? You don't have to go out there and spend extra money. At least the last time I checked, I think. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but let's set this up now, okay? So our interior reverb is pretty simple. As you see, I just went ahead and I put a multi-channel reverb There it is, right there. It's a stereo reverb, right? And you'll see that here it's got the panning. I can kind of put it wherever I want. This is just kind of a starting point. I have it, right? And you can get really crazy with all the reverbs. This is like simple, down, dirty, very easy setting as far as interior and exterior reverbs go. Now I've created here, let's see if I could, so I have this JDC interior reverb default, right? And you can see here on the Revibe 2, these are the settings. You know, the time there is, 881 milliseconds, the size, the diffusion, the spread. It's all, and I believe this all came from, under the film and post, and we tweak some of these things. But a lot of these presets that I have been accumulated over the years from other people, other collaborators. But if you go in here, you could see it's a whole bunch of different settings, right? Now, this particular setting I'm going to show it just sounds great. It's just a go-to. Now, over here with the Reverb 1, I have, let's get it. I think I had it on a parking garage. Let's go back to there's my default. This is my JDC, my initials. This is basically my exterior default, okay? So I'm going to show you a couple sounds, what it sounds like dry, and then when we apply the particular reverb. And I want you to kind of, I think I have a clip here. I do have a video on here, but let's go ahead and see what we got. All right. So in this particular spot here, I have, the way that I operate is I have the reverb for the effects, and then I have the same setup for interior, exterior, because I want them to match for my backgrounds, for my walla, and also for my Foley, okay? So let's just see if we can get some sound here. Let's see what we got here. Let's just solo this. Here we go. Okay, there's a bag, right? I think they're throwing trash. Let's see over here. Let's see what they got. Oh, there's a picture. Here we go. So they're throwing some trash bags in an alleyway, right? And then we have a bag that kind of falls apart. Right there. Okay, so just listen to that, right? It's dry. There's no reverb on it, right? When I stop the sound, it doesn't hang over, nothing like that, right? So what I'm going to do is, the way I have this set up in my template, and you could do it, any way you want to, but I have these set up as sends. And so each sound effects track in my group, right? And I have AFX, BFX, CFX, and I usually go pretty wide. I go 8 and 8 wide, 8 mono, 8 stereo for each food group. And this, in this example, we're just going 4 and 4. But you'll see here I have a send to my effects interior verb. I have a send to my effects exterior verb, and then I talked about that 5/0 verb right here, and then I do have an LFE boom track in case I want to add some low end to my whatever sound effects I have here. But these sends, you'll see, are set at 0. Okay, I'm having it send that signal, and I'm using the return over here, okay, to then ride as much, not volume, but a reverb to that particular sound, okay? Now, some people have the returns all the way up like this, and then over here, the sends are down, and so they just individually, some of them might even have their tracks muted like that, and only when they want to add reverb, they'll unmute it, add the reverb, and then it'll pop back out. But that's not how I use it. The way I use it, as I am using my return. Now, I don't do it like that for my backgrounds, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But let's go ahead and give you now a little taste of what our trash can here in the alley, they're in an alley here, they're in an alleyway here, sounds like, okay? So we'll go ahead and we're soloed. Okay, good. There it is. Now let's add some of that reverb, okay? Now we're outside, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm in preview. I'm going to go in preview here, and I'm going to go ahead and add some of that reverb via my return, okay? Now let's see. We'll just go like right here. Let's see what it sounds like. Oh, there we go. So now at the end, there's a little bit of a hit, right? Let's see. Maybe we want, I want to, okay, right there. I think that's this right here. No, it's up here. Okay, so right there. What I'm just gonna do is I'm just gonna group that, and I'm gonna take that down. Actually, I'm just gonna cut it off. I don't want it hitting that. Okay, so now let's listen to that again, and let's get our reverb up again. So let's go like this, and just for reference, I have groups that are set up here. So when I do a move, when I add some reverb, right, to any send, it's going to follow for that whole entire group, right? But since I already have it set like a baseline at 0 for my sends, I don't need the group engaged, so I'll go ahead and just disengage the group. All right, and let's go to our return here. All right, here's some reverb. Okay, there we go. See, we got some reverb, and I wrote that. I happened to be in touch there, but I can adjust whatever I want setting wise, and you hear it sounds good. It sounds, it sounds like it's outside. Now, if I didn't like that particular sound, my default setting, which works, a lot of the times, I can go here and I can experiment with different kinds of reverbs. Now, I have a whole track of things that, different kinds. Like, let's say we didn't like that sound and we wanted to have it outside slap. Well, check this out. Here's a wide one, right? Here's a stadium slap, right? See how long that goes, And if I went to like an arena, and actually, no, let's go like this. Let's go to like a church. I think like a big church. Let's think that big spaces. Here we go. Cathedral, right? Let's hear how that sounds. Hear how long that goes, right? And it gives us the feeling like we're in a cathedral, right? Now, again, you can go in there and you can choose what scene, depending on the scene, each parameter. But for, let's say, a television show, right? Because I do a lot of television shows. Having a template where this kind of is just there, as far as like a set and forget kind of setting, this default right here of my exterior is a really good one. Here it goes. And that gets me there. So now I can quickly go into the next scene, right? Now it's going to sound different. The interior reverb, right? Let's take a look at that setting. It's a little different, right? You could check these parameters here. But when I add this, let's take a listen. So it's a little different. It's shorter. It's not as long, right? Put more on it. See? So it's kind of got that interior vibe, right? And so I would probably put that on doors, anything that was inside. It's really good for, homes, office spaces, things like that. If I wanted to get a little bit more creative with this Revibe 2 reverb, I would go in here, and if I needed to adjust it, I would. Like, let's just say I wanted to get really creative. Now, I'll do that. But the reason I have these set up like this with the Revibe 2 and Reverb 1 is because they're tried and true settings for a lot of the content that I've worked on. And I'm talking about years, literally years of content for TV and film that I've used this setting right here. Like, take a snapshot, grab it, try those settings. They work. And they're awesome. And because we're constantly going quickly, that it just works. So let's take a look at our backgrounds real fast. And since I kind of mentioned that I use them a little differently, when it comes to backgrounds, let's see what we have here. This little, since we're in here, this opening scene, let's just play this dry. Okay, this is an outside. This is from a show called So it's an alleyway. Cat, some dog bus, some cicadas. Okay, and when I stop, it is, it's quiet, right? So what I want to do is I want to add some exterior reverb, okay? Now, very similar to the the effect settings, right, you'll see here Revibe 2 is my reverb choice for my interior reverb, and Reverb 1 is my choice for my exterior reverb, right? And I have, as you can see here, let's make sure you know, I have this default setting there, okay? And then I have this default for exterior reverb, okay? Now, what this allows me to do now is, since I am in the background ambience kind of mood rather, I'm going to use this a little differently. I'm not going to use my returns here. I'm going to actually have my return all the way to 0. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make setting adjustments to my sends, because not every track I want there might have reverb. Like that cat, let's see, where are we at? This cat, is it this cat right here? Let's see. Yeah, there's a cat right there. And actually, let's take a look. I could do this a couple different ways. If I have a group, which I do have a group, and I engage it, and you'll see really quickly, I'm going to engage my group, Shift Command G, and I've set that up already here. When I now go to my reverbs, right, I can take the interior and simply raise all of the parameters. So you see here, I raise this on BG2. Well, it's going to be the same on BG1. It's going to be same on BG3, you know, BG4, okay? Because I have a group. I usually typically will do that if I'm trying to get through it quick and I just want a little bit. But with this, I'm going to go individual so you can hear the difference, okay? So let's disengage our group, suspend that. I'm going to reset, get out of preview. All right, so let's take a look here. Let's move these bad boys. So I'm going to now start putting a little bit of some reverb on some of these things. And I want you to hear how the difference between the dry and the wet signal here. So here's a dog, I think. Yeah, there's a dog, okay? Now, what I love to do with the dogs, I want to put a little bit of that exterior slap, right? And I already have some. I heard, I was like, oh, shoot, I already have it. So you hear it right there. You see that little slap? Right? So I like that. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to punch that, put that there. But let's see what else we have here. I know now down here we had some cicadas. Let's see. Okay, so check this out. Oh, there's a little something in there too. Some bags of trash. So what I like to do with like bugs like that, I like to give them some of that slap, right? Let's take a listen to what that sounds like. Okay, so you hear that? You hear it there, especially at the end with the cans. Okay, so I like that. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to write that there. Acknowledge that. Okay. And then let's see what's down here. Okay, it's like a... Oh, it's a garbage truck. Yeah, check this out. All right, let's put some verb on that. See, very dry, right? Very dry. Dry signal. Now let's put some of that exterior verb on there that we were talking about, right? There we go. See, so it's got some space now, right? Now we sound like we're outside. And, you know, it might be a little hot, so I'll just clip gain it a few. You know, if I'm mixing, I'm touching my faders, and I'm getting all kinds of level. But for this, I'll just go like that. So we have some verb on there. Let's see what's on here. What do we got? Oh, this is a great one. Police siren. Okay, so obviously it's just a recording, right? So let's put some of that slap on there. Let's put some of that distant reverb like we had. There we go. Hear that? Hear the difference? I love it, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that on there as well. Okay, and let's see what we got here. We have some vehicles. Oh, it's a police siren by. Yeah, some more police. Okay, so those are all three of those. So let's put some... Nice. Okay, so we're just going to add some verb to those, right? 6, 7, 8. Okay, love it. So I've thrown some on there, and I'm just going to put it on the rest of the channels here, just at least up to there. I'll write that there. Okay, so now, we're starting to get some of this exterior reverb on there. And you'll notice, like, let's just see. Let's put this together. You'll notice that, I did them individually. If, maybe you didn't like it that. Maybe you didn't like it, and you wanted to group them all and do it. And let's just eliminate that actually right now. So I'm going to get this, and I'm going to go down here. And I'm going to write all this back to just 0. So there's nothing there, right? And if you were grouped, now what you could do is you could sort of get a universal, because you have this group, reverb setting for all of them by just clicking this and adding that verb, this level, to all these tracks, right? And I have the stereo backgrounds grouped as well. So if I wanted to take those, get the send there. Oh, it's already. I never rewrote it. That's right. So that it already has that. But if I go down here, and let's bring it down. Oops, cancel. Okay, now we're at 0. Now I can collectively raise my send, and you'll see that they're all the same, right? So now I have a quicker way to get that automation to all those tracks, that reverb setting to all of them. So now if we go like this, let's take a listen. How this sounds. Oh, we're a little too far. Let's just get right into it. Oh, that cat's loud. Sorry. So now you have some reverb that is kind of going across everything, right? So that's kind of how I use reverb for backgrounds. I really love the idea, especially with like, animals like barking, especially the dogs, sirens. If we wanted to make this siren sound like it was even further away, we would also do like a combination of, EQ as well. And so, everything's really taster's choice, whatever you can do. I'm going to see if I can do this real quickly. Let's see. Let me grab the EQ. Let's just roll that off. See how that goes. Oops, I wasn't grouped. Sorry, guys. I realized I'm showing you something, but not grouped. There we go. Now we're grouped. Let's go like this, like this. Okay, oops. So let's see. Yeah. So do you see how now I've rolled that off? Right? Oh, but what didn't take was my reverb. Oh, I did. Oh, that's a lot of reverb. What was I doing? But you get the point, right? There we go. Here we go. Like this. Then now I've kind of thrown it away, right? And it has a little bit of that reverb. So, that's kind of how I use the reverbs for the backgrounds. Let's take a look at something that, we don't really show a lot of, but that's Foley, right? Now, we saw that these guys were out in the alleyway. If we want to get some movement and some feet, right? Let's listen to their feet. Okay, there's the feet. A little loud, but let's get a better level here. Let's see. What if we lower the feet a little bit? Let's listen to the pops. Do a little bit of that. Okay, not bad. Let's see what our cloth sounds like. Okay, cloth's fine. All right, so I'm just gonna write that automation there. Now let's go to the reverb, because we're talking about reverb here. Now with this particular reverb, it's very, very similar in the sense that I've set it up so that they have similar sounds. You'll see here, interior reverb and an exterior reverb, right, for the Foley. So I'm gonna go ahead and listen to the feet. Okay, let's go right here. Let's listen to the feet. Oops, am I not on the right? There we go. Okay, now let's introduce you here. Got some natural kind of like room, you know, from the Foley stage, right? But if I want to add some interior reverb, I'm going to take my return. You can see that now we got some room in it. Okay, but they're outside, right? If you remember, let's see, they were outside, right? Yeah, they're outside in an alleyway, right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to raise the exterior reverb. See how that changes it? I like that, you know? And some of that reverb is going to get eaten up by the music, by the backgrounds. And so sometimes you might find yourself pushing it a little bit so that you can hear those reflections, you know? But again, same thing. Here's my reverb 1. I have my default setting for my Foley. But if something needed to change and it wasn't working and I wanted to try something different, you know, I could go over here and I can go to, where's the, oh no, I'm looking for like a parking. Here we go, parking garage. Here we go. Hear that? Now they're in the parking garage, right? Now they're in parking garage, right? So these settings they're a lot of fun. Now, mind you, there's a lot of fancy not EQs, reverbs out there these days. There's a lot of fancy EQs out there too. But these two reverbs have gotten me through so much. And I used to tell the story that I used to use just these stock reverbs because growing up in the industry, I didn't have any extra money to spend, you know. I was taking care of my kids, you know, I got 4 kids and stuff, and I just wouldn't buy it. I just wasn't an iLock person, you know. I wouldn't go and grab a bunch of plugins. I just used what they're. The fortunate thing for me is that the studios and the facilities always had, you know, all the plugins. Now, I stayed within these 2 plugins because these reverbs, because they were generally always at the studios. You know, if I had Altiverb, especially years ago, you know, not everybody would have Altiverb. Nowadays, everybody has Altiverb, at least every big studio that I've worked on. And those are a lot of fun. When I do films, I'm always using Altiverb because I really love the impulse responses they have, right? So these 2 reverbs are simple, they're straightforward, and if you use these settings, right, can really help you create that realism when it comes to your next short film, your film, I mean, your TV show. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm using it literally on a show right now that I'm working on. So it's a very simple thing. Now, mind you, let's go back to, roll it quickly. Let's go back to the effects. And I want to show you, let's see if I can find like a door. Here we go. This doesn't have anything to do with the picture, but here's another example of just the backgrounds and the reverb. Here's an animal. Here's a dog. Let's hopefully I'm not blowing your ears out here. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Pretty dry, right? Pretty dry. This is actually probably a better example. Let's take these reverb settings that I've had, right? This interior and exterior that we're talking about right now. Again, mind you, it's an interior reverb in the backgrounds. Also, it's the same one in the effects and the same one in the Foley. Because generally, I'm trying to create the same environment, so it makes sense to me to have the same kind of reverb in those settings, okay? Oftentimes, I'm working with the dialogue mixer. I'll say, hey, what do you got going on over there? And I'll try to match it as, you know, if I have the same one, I'll try to match it. But let's listen to this dog. Again, classic example of this dog being close up and pretty dry. Okay, so now let's add this reverb 1 exterior reverb, Joel special. Okay, so let's take a listen. So what do you think? Right? Again, before. Dry, right? Pretty good. I think it's pretty good. So I'm telling you, I've used this for hundreds and hundreds of hours of TV mixing. It's good enough for you too. Now, interior. Let's see what the interior sounds like with this dog. Dry. Interior. Hear the difference? Definitely different from our exterior verb. Do you hear that? Right. So I'm telling you, this is it's worth giving it a shot, because I think it can go a long way for you. You know, these are just some more background tracks that I was doing some testing with. But let's see if we hear that door, the interior door. Let's see. Okay, here's let's see. Is this a door here? Let's take a look. This might be a door. I think it is actually. Oh, it is a door. Good. So now this is on the top of a scene of a roof. So maybe not so much. Let's see what this is. Is this fighting? Oh, this is fighting. Yeah. So let's just say this door, right? Let's say this door right here was a door for inside. Let's grab the. Oops. Let's do it like this. Let's go ahead and get some of that interior reverb. Let's see. Oops, sorry. There we go. Let's try this. You hear that? See? It sounds like it's inside, right? So that's the interior reverb. Now, if we switched it up and we said, let's lose the interior reverb on my return and add exterior. Hear that? Hear the slap? Not bad. This is a really good setting for vehicles outside, like doors, you know, that are closing. Maybe your main character got out of a car, he's getting out, and he's slamming the door. That's a really good setting. Check it out. Here we go again. You hear that slap, right? It's not bad. It's not bad. So give it a whirl, give it a shot. See if using Reverb 1 and Revibe 2, respectively, for two kinds of reverbs, an interior reverb and an exterior reverb. Now, I did hint at a bigger reverb that I use, right? And it's quite simple. Let me show you really quickly here. Let's go with let's see. Is this a good thing we're listening to? Ooh, that sounds cool, huh? What I already had a reverb on there. That's the exterior reverb. Okay, so that's the camera move or something. But let's go over here. This would be me giving you a little bit of that dreamy kind of stuff. Let's just go maybe. Oh, I have an idea. Let's go back to what we were using outside, because we were doing the over here, the bags. There we go. Okay. If I wanted some big reverb on this bag falling, right, that's dry. What I would do is introduce my 5/0 verb. Okay. Now that is, let me just call this up here on the side. My 5/0 verb is, let's find it. You're going to find it before I do. Watch. All right. Thanks for hanging there. So here's my 5/0 verb right here. You see that. And it also has revibe too. Okay. And I made a simple setting, a 5/0 verb. So you can see, take a look if you want, take a snapshot, give it a shot. But here's what that sounds like. Now, I use my 5/0 verb differently. We have been using the return for most of the sound effects. For the 5/0 verb, I personally like to have my return up to 0. And then from the send, okay, from the send here, this is where I will be adjusting how much gets played in there. So let's go to the actual mono track here. And then you could keep an eye here on the 5/0 bus there. Let's go like this. Okay. And let's see if I can I don't want to blow anybody's ears off here, but let's go like this. We'll put it in a loop so we know. We'll go like that. Okay. Oops. Let's go like that. Let's go like that. All right, here we go. So here we go. Testing, testing. Hear that? Here it is again. Not bad, right? Oh, I never showed you here. Here's the 5/0 verb. Check it out, the bus. So do you see that? You see how now you're hitting these channels, right? And here on the Revibe 2 interface, you can go in there and adjust any parameter that you need to do. And as you can see, you know, it's got the input and the output. You're coming in, right? What's coming in is here, and what's going out, you can again adjust it however you want to. But this 5/0 verb I use for very dreamy kind of sequences. You know, I think about this if there's a gunshot or anything like gung 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 gung, right? And you want to, you know, make it dreamy and like sound underwater. This is a fantastic reverb setting for that. And again, it comes with Pro Tools, right? So it's everybody has it. Now, some people might say, I got better ones. And there are, you know, like if I wanted to, I can go in here and I could use, you know, the Phoenix surround, you know, which is a great reverb. But, you know, other people are using cinematic rooms. Again, you know, Altiverb, whatever. Use whatever you want, but the concept is simple. And so you'll see in every track I have my send that is going to the interior reverb, the exterior reverb, and now the 5/0 reverb. Okay, and then we talked about the boom LFE stuff. But this dreamy kind of sound is really fun and cool. Let's see if we could do something really quickly. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. Let me see if we can grab a gun. Let's grab a gun. Okay, let's grab a gun real fast. Gun. Okay, watch your ears. Let's see. Maybe we like... Okay, maybe this one. Okay, let's go. Okay, we're going to go with that, right? We're going to go with that, and we're going to put it... oops, sorry, guys. Sorry, everyone. Let's go like this. Okay. Perfect. So now we have it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get a level here. I don't want to blow anybody's ears out, but okay. Okay. So now let's pretend we want it to sound dreamy, right? Dreamy, rolled off, and we're going to use that big 5/0 verb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my EQ, whatever EQ you prefer, right? I love the Pro Q. I'm going to roll this off. Okay. I'm going to roll it off. And I'm also going to get my 5/0 verb, and I'm going to raise that. Hear that? Isn't that cool? Right? I love it. And so I'm going to go ahead and write that there. I'm going to go like this. So if we're in like some kind of dream world, right? Here's our EQ. Okay, our verb is going. You can see here it's being sent to our... oops. Here, I'll show you real quickly. I got everything open here, right here. It's being sent to our verb here. You'll see it hitting. Okay, there we go. And let's say we wrote that, and you want to come out of it, right? And you're slowly going like this. All the way to present. Okay, we got out of it too late. But you know, maybe it's a scene, yeah, where you're slowly, you know, coming from a dreamy kind of tinnitus kind of a thing, to where then you're like in present day or in the moment, coming out of that, you know, kind of like a Saving Private Ryan kind of thing. You're starting to come out of it. EQ move, and then now you're full, maybe. Okay. Something like that. But I'll get rid of the verb right now, so the pass her. Okay, so now what I'll do, now that I've kind of made that move, right? I'll go ahead and watching this as the EQ move goes. I'll eventually take my reverb, my 5/0 reverb, and I'll start to slowly come out of it. then out of it, right? Say present. You know, here we are. We're in the moment now, right? So again, that's a big word. So it's a fantastic. So with those 3 reverbs, an interior, exterior, and a big like 5.0 dreamy kind of 3D space kind of reverb, you're gonna be set. I'm telling you, your next short film is gonna sound awesome. Your next TV show is gonna sound awesome. Your next commercial is gonna sound awesome. And here's a quick tip. All you sound designers out there who are currently, because it's a huge trend, and I think keep doing it because it's awesome, because you never know who's gonna watch or listen to your material. You sound designers and editors who are out there doing new redesigns and new edits, right? Use reverb. That's what you're missing. You're getting all the cool sounds and everything like that. But put me in the space. Put me in the space. Nothing sells realism like well done reverb. Make it sound like you're in there. So if you're a sound designer and you're redesigning some new stuff, try using a little bit of verb. Set it up like this. Get an interior verb, get an exterior verb, get a big dreamy verb like that 5.0 verb. It doesn't take much. Now, again, there might be people who are like, Joel, okay, use this reverb. Why are you going to use that? My friend, I'm telling you, literally, with 17 years of working in this industry, I'm telling you that many, many years, many, many projects, I've literally used Revibe 2 and Reverb 1 as my go-tos. And they get the job done. I'm going to tell you right now, hasn't been one director or one producer who has criticized my choice of reverbs. So make it work. We make it work, because of our ears. Mixing is so subjective. But if you want to take your mixing to the next level, experiment with reverbs. If you don't already have some kind of interior, exterior, dreamy 5.0 big reverb in your mix templates, in your edit sessions, for those designers who are creating, new redesigns, do it, my friend. Do yourself a favor and try it. And I don't know. I just gotta say, it's one of the best parts of mixing, is spending time to really get that space dialed in. Because when you are a part of telling a bigger story, doing things like this, these settings help bring that realism to the audience. And, ultimately we want to make, it's 50% of the experience, and so you're going to listen, you're going to hear, and our job is to make it sound nice and real. And so I really hope that this has been helpful to you, my friend. Will you do me a favor and let me know in the comments what's been your biggest takeaway from today's episode? I would love to know. And if you're new here, friend, I'm so glad that you stumbled on this channel. I don't know if you know, but I checked the stats. It is 65%. 65% of the viewers on this channel are not subscribed to the channel. So, my friend, I would love to extend an invitation to click subscribe. If you are new here and want to know more, you can head over to masteringpostproductionsound.com to check out some of the resources and things we have. If you're interested in template stuff, I have a link below to one of my templates. I'm going to be doing another video a little later, going a little bit deeper. Every year I like to refresh my templates, so stay tuned for that. But thank you, friend, for being here. I really, really appreciate you. And just for being here, my gift to you, if you go check out that template video below, I'll give you a copy of my own template. So my gift to you. So thanks for being here. I'll check you out over here in one of these other videos or in next week's episode.